This video went viral on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. This is what I look like after 17 years of training, 5 days a week on average. I'm not tensing, there's no downlighting, I move the camera outside so you can get a fair view of what I look like. I've seen this trend going around, and to be honest, I think it's pretty stupid. There are so many factors that determine what we look like. And it's not just how long we've been training. Yes, that gives you time to build some muscle, to get stronger. But just because you've been training for 10 years or 15 years doesn't mean you need to look like a pro bodybuilder. You may genetically store more fat on your stomach. So even if you've been training for 10 years and dieting very seriously, you may never have abs, and that's just the reality that you have to face. You may just be training to be healthy. You may just be training for your mental health, and you love to just get into the gym 3 times a week and sweat it out. Social media and the algorithm that prioritizes polarizing content has massively shifted the way that we see physiques. And quite often we think that people that have been training for a long time should look like professional bodybuilders because that's what pops up. For most people, that's not their reality, and you shouldn't compare your reality to someone else's perfect physique that they've been training a whole lifetime for with the performance enhancing drugs behind them and some elite genetics. It's not a winning game. Although a lot of the comments told me I just need to lose weight and I'll look better, or people telling me that their physiques were better than mine in a shorter time frame, that was never the point of this post. You see, after 17 years of training, my physique isn't what you'd call impressive. Unfortunately for me. Not compared to the common fitness influencer physique you see plastered all over social media. The top tier of genetics, potentially assisted by copious amounts of testosterone, photo editing, and lifestyles that allow for lifting weights whenever they want and for as long as they want. And I get it, I work in fitness, but it's just not realistic for the people that are watching your content online if you are a fitness influencer. And that's exactly the point of my post, because research shows that people comparing themselves to content online is fueling a real problem. In Bahrain, a large study found that 1.8% of people had full-blown body dysmorphic disorder. That's already serious. But here's what stood out. Those who compared themselves to others on social media, like the fitness influencers, had a statistically significant spike in dysmorphia symptoms. And the more time they spent scrolling, the worse the symptoms were. A direct correlation between screen time and body image issues. And in the UK, researchers looked at teenagers aged 16 to 18. The ones using image-based platforms like Instagram and TikTok, etc., had significantly higher dysmorphia scores than those who didn't. Nearly 50% of the teens admitted they use social media mainly to compare how they look. It's screwed up. And even after adjusting for depression and anxiety, appearance-driven social media use still predicted much more severe body image issues. This isn't just a teenage problem though. Another UK study of adults found that the more hours people spent on social media, the more dissatisfied they were with their bodies. And I think it's because a lot of this fitness content that's online. Adults who heavily edited their photos reported significantly lower self-esteem as well. And even in the older group, social media use was strongly tied to symptoms of body dysmorphic disorder. In Saudi Arabia, body dysmorphic disorder prevalence among social media users was 4.2%, more than double the global average of around 2%. The heaviest users of photo editing apps had much lower self-esteem and were far more willing to undergo cosmetic surgery. Those who frequently compared their appearance online were significantly more likely to meet criteria for body dysmorphia. So when you see a video like mine, or any physique online, remember, it's not about whether someone's body looks impressive or how long it's taken them or even what they did to get there. It's about whether you're making progress. Are you getting stronger? Are you getting leaner? Are you building muscle? Are you running a faster mile time? Is your beep test score getting better? Can you do more bodyweight pull-ups? That's the shit that you should be worrying about as someone that's trying to improve themselves if you're going to the gym. Which if you're watching this channel, you most probably are. There's no point chasing someone else's physique. You don't have their genetics. You don't have the time that they have to commit to their physique. They have a different program. They have a different amount of sleep that they're getting. There's just too many variables for you to say, I want to look like that person, so I'm going to train like that person and try to be like them. It's okay to aspire to be like someone, but don't let that completely blind you from making your own progress. I made that mistake. I used to read interviews on a website called simplyshredded.com, and I used to look at physiques like Lazar Angelov, Jeff Seed, Ulysses, Steve Cook, Simeon Panda. These types of physiques, I would read all their interviews, I would look at their meal plans, I would look at their workouts, and I would literally copy and paste it. I'd print it out, have it in front of me, and I'd be doing it. And when I looked in the mirror, I was so disappointed. I didn't look like some jacked fitness model that was potentially getting assisted by a little bit of testosterone. I looked nothing like them. I was just an 18-year-old young dude who was training 5 times a week on some random macros, trying to figure it all out. But I had these expectations because I was looking at these photos and reading the interviews and looking at videos of them in training. I had these expectations that that was what I was going to look like. And obviously, you're probably smarter than that. But it does sneak in there when you digest so much of this content, and there's much more out there online now. It does sneak in there that you should have a six-pack. You should be benching at least 2 plates, or you're a pussy. But it's just not true. It's not true. The stats are not in our favor. This isn't just about fitness influencers lying to their audiences for a quick buck, which a ton of them do. It's about how our social media feeds are shaping our mental health and our actions or belief towards ourselves. If this video opened your eyes at least a little bit to how you're comparing yourself to other people, hit subscribe, because this is the kind of truth about fitness that needs to be talked about more, and this is the type of message that I want to be putting out there. I've taken a break for a while from YouTube, and I really want to put out some good, valuable content that you take some good stuff from. I'll see you in the next video. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but we're rolling with it.